Hi Stampers, it's Elizabeth from StampScrapandMore.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Canada. Thank you for joining me today for yet another video tutorial. This time we are going to be making a gift box specifically to hold a bath bomb. Folks, Mother's Day is coming up. This will be a perfect idea for Mother's Day. I hope to inspire you, and you will definitely need a pen and paper because I'm going to give you measurements. The box I had originally created was for a Super Teams event last Christmas, and I'll show you that box, but the one we're creating today, I'm creating it from scratch using On the Horizon. So I've die cut out a bunch of pieces, but you definitely are going to need a piece of paper for some measurements and score lines, etc. So let's get started, and I'm going to share with you the box from last year, and then we'll get cracking and start making the box that I'm going to be using for On the Horizon. This was the box I had created last year. It's been around the block, folks. It's been a sample box for a while, and I've taken the ribbon off, but this was the basic box. You can see how I've put the border punch, the tree border punch along the bottom. It's got a little tag on here, definitely for Christmas. And when you open the box, it opens like that. And here it's got a bath bomb on the inside. You can decorate it on the inside to your heart's content. You can really get creative with this type of project. And I'm going to share, share with you how to create this. This is 2 layers, and it sort of crisscrosses so that it has stability to hold the bath bomb. This is a Charmed Aroma Bath Balm. It's in North America. I don't know if they have them in the rest of the world, but it's the type where you put it in the bath and it dissolves, and inside there's a present. You can pick out what you want, but there's rings, earrings, I think, bracelets, necklaces. So this one is a ring, and I had purchased it for the demonstration purposes, and I'm a size 6, so one of these days I'm going to take a bath and get my present, but I keep using it for projects. All right, so that is the project that we are going to be creating today. I'm changing it up a little bit, other than also changing up with the designer series paper and the stamp set, etc. So we are going to be using the On the Horizon stamp set with some of the elements from the dies. We're also going to be using the layering circles. I'll show you as we go along which dies we're going to be using. And let's see, the detailed trio punch, and the tailor-made tags. Sorry, let me just pull those out. I'm going to be using this tag for the tailor-made tags, just to put on the top, to put a little sentiment on the top of it. You can use any tag punch or die that you have for this. And then this is the detailed trio punch, because I want to corner around all of the edges. All right, I've got my notes here. So we're going to start with the lid, and this is 5.5 by 5.5, and it is scored at 1 1/4 on all 4 sides. So 1 1/4, 1 1/4. This is a sort of a basic box template, 1 1/4 on all 4 sides. And you know, I'm going to, oh no, I'll put that aside. I was going to make the lid, but we'll do all the scoring first. So that was the box lid. I have a real tickle, so I've got a bottle of water here, so I may go quiet and have my water every once in a while. So let's see. So this is the box. You need 2 pieces that are 3 by 9, and this is scored at 3 inches and 6 inches. So both pieces are scored at 3 inches and 6 inches. So these are 3 by 9 and scored at 3 and 6. And this is in fresh freesia. I should have told you that, but you know, use what you have. I'm calling this the insert, and these are 2 3/4 by 6 7/8, and they are scored at 1/2 inch, 3 1/4, 3 3/4, and 6 1/2. Again, that is 2 3/4, 2 3/4 by 6 7/8, scored at 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 3 1/4, 3 3/4, and 6 1/2. And I think that is it for scoring. Let's make this box lid. You've all know how to make boxes, but you know, I just realized I'm going to put this on pause because the light's starting to come through the window. I just have to put a board in the window so that you don't get lots of glare. Alrighty. So we all know how to make box lids, but I'm going to share with you how I do it. I'm going to snip up the center to the score line, and I'm going to angle cut it in and just meet that score line like that. And you're going to do that on all 4 sides. Oops, up the center score, angle that in. And you'll also need your bone folder. I forgot to mention that. We'll just make it so much easier to get nice crisp edges on your box. Like that. All right. There you go, my bone folder. And now I'm just going to burnish all those edges. You also might need some paper clips or some bulldog clips, and I'll show you why. Not necessary. It's one of those, if you have it, it'll be easier, make life a little bit easier as you assemble the box. And I'm going to use some Tombow glue, and I'm just using the clips and the clothespins just to hold the edges. So I'm going to put some Tombow glue on that tab there. And I'm going to marry the two together. And I'm just going to put the clothespin just to hold it. And while I continue on with the rest of it, it gives it something to seal the two while the adhesive cures. Like that. This is just the basic box shape. And as the days going on, the sun is moving. I'm not complaining, folks. I'm not complaining, but it does make it hard for filming. I should have put another board in the window. I'm sure my neighbors wonder, what the heck does she do? Okay, and now we've got the basic box lid all done. Okay, so yeah, I put another board in the window. Okay, so that is the box lid. Now, for the box base, we have these 2 pieces, and I'm going to fold both pieces on the score lines, and you're going to need your corner round punch, or your detailed trio punch, I should say. That's what it's called. You don't have to use the detailed trio punch, but I think it just adds a little bit extra detail to the box. And on these 4 edges, we are going to corner round them. Like that. And one more. Now the reason why I'm doing the box this way, you can make it out of one sheet of paper by cutting it like a T or a cross, but it's the 8.5 by 11 is not big enough to hold this bath bomb. So that's why I'm doing it this way. And so basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to crisscross them like this, and I'm going to create my own T box or cross box. And I'm going to put some adhesive down on this layer. And I'm going to lay this inside this layer, matching up the score lines on the left and right. It might be hard to, to fold one side down, but just squeeze it a little bit. There we go. That's why I like the Tombow glue, because it just gives you a little bit of that extra wiggle room that you can slide it around. Okay, box is done now. So technically, the box is done, and you can I can put the lid on top of it, and you can decorate it as you like. But I'm going to do an insert as well. There we go. So there's the box, and I'm going to do an insert as well. But before I do that, let's decorate the rest of the box. Okay, so you need designer series paper. I want to decorate the lid, the outside panels, and the inside panels. So you need, I'm using a different designer series paper for the inside panels than I am for the outside panels. So for the outside panels and the lid, you need 4 pieces of designer series paper that are 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. I have decided for this box not to double mat everything. So you'll see on this box there was an outside mat and then the designer series paper. I've decided not to do that this time. So if you wanted to do that, you would have to measure accordingly. So the lid top, if you want it to mat it, it is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. Then the designer series paper is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. I'm not matting it. So my designer series paper for the lid top is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. And I'm just going to put it on flush like that. And I am going to put on, use the Tombow glue. And when you use the Tombow glue, just make sure you get it to the edges because you don't want it to lift. And I used the On the Horizon designer series paper. I chose patterns that were, when all cut up, it didn't show any specific direction. Let me just do something here. Brighten up my computer. I didn't use any patterns that had any specific direction because it would look fine like that, like that, like that, especially when you're going to put it on the sides, right? So that's for the lid. For the outside panels, I again am using the same as I did for the top, and this is as well 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. Again, if you want it to mat it, I'm not matting this one. You'll see here's the basic cardstock here, and then I matted this one with a heavier cardstock and then the designer series paper. If you want it to do that, the cardstock is 2 7/8 by 2 7/8, and the designer series paper is 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. In this case, I've just cut 2 7/8 by 2 7/8 because I'm not putting that extra matting layer on it. Now I'm going to corner around. I'm going to lay these pieces down like this, and just to see how I want them. Remember, this side here, all of these are going to be the top. So I want that at the top. That's okay, that's okay, and that's okay. So I'm going to now bring out the corner rounder again, or the trio, detailed trio punch. And I'm going to do all 4 sides. And these are going to get adhered to the outside of the explosion box. This is a great way to use up designer series paper, folks. So if you've got some designer series paper that you want to get used up, make yourself a pretty explosion box and make it beautiful. I intentionally did not leave a lot of border around this box, around the edge. So if you want it to leave the standard, what was that, 1/8? Please feel free to make your measurements however you want. I didn't want to have that big of a measurement. Or I didn't want that much cardstock to show underneath. And that one's like that. And I thought this would be really pretty against the white bath bomb. That's why I chose this color in this designer series paper. It has that look of water to it, as well, I think anyhow. And so I thought it was a really pretty combination. And I am going to be using the silver ribbon to wrap it up with. So I thought that would be a really pretty combination. And now on the inside, I'm taking same designer series paper, but I want the darker of the pattern. And I want that one. Oh, and again, same measurements as the inside. So these are 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. But if you wanted cardstock, then the designer series paper, it would be 2 7/8 by 2 7/8, and then 2 3/4, 2 3/4 for the designer series paper. And I'm going to just corner around everything again. The reason why I chose not to double layer it, and when I get to decorating the inside of the box, the reason why I am going to put everything flush in this box, I popped everything up. And you'll see that right here on the left hand side, you'll see how it's curved a bit because it was pressed up too much against the bath bomb. And so by reducing that extra layer and not having things popped up, I'm hoping that it won't interfere, the bath bomb won't curve it. Now, if you wanted to use a smaller bath bomb than Bob's Your Uncle, you can go ahead and double layer and pop up because it will not touch the sides of the box. But that is, so there's a reason why I do things sometimes, and it may not be totally obvious to you, but so when I get to building the inside panels and decorating them, I'm going to make them all flush. They're not going to be popped up. If I pop up anything, it might be the sentiment, but probably not even do that. Oops, that one isn't very straight. Okay. This project, the Tombow glue is great for it because it allows you to shift things around into place. Okay, and now here is the basic box. And it's as simple as that. But now we're going to do the insert. There we go. And there's the box. We have to decorate the outside. Oh yeah, let me start decorating the outside. So I have also cut out, these are for the lid sides, and these are 2 7/8 by 1 1/8. If you wanted to mat the designer series paper onto an extra layer of cardstock, the cardstock that would go on top of this is 2 7/8 by 1 1/8. Then the designer series paper that will go on top of that would be 2 3/4 by 1 inch. But I am just doing this flush onto here like that. And while I'm here, I might as well put them all on. And I've chosen the same pattern as I had on the inside of the box, just to give a little bit of consistency. And to be honest with you, it also matches this as well. But why did I use that? There was another reason why. Oh, and I wanted just a more solid pattern. I didn't want something that had a lot of like waves to it. I wanted something that was more, that was solid. And I thought it worked really well with it. I'm using up lots of my New Horizon Designer Series paper. I had actually bought 2 packages of it because I used some of it for a team make and take. And I'm happy to say that I'm done. I'm almost finished all of the paper, which is a really good thing. But it has appeared in many projects, I must say. and like that. Okay. That, like, I think that's beautiful. You know, don't you hate it when people like admire their own work? All right, we're done with the corner rounding punch now, or I keep calling corner detailed trio punch. And now we are going to burnish all of these. And we're going to fold them like that. Now, one side, you'll see one side, this side is not as wide as that side, but it is going to get adhered like that. And so it won't quite be right to the front, right to the top, but so the larger side will get adhered onto the smaller side. Now, the reason why I've done it this way, and I've done two boxes. The first time I made this project, and I don't think I have the sample here anymore, and I die cut out the center, and it was just one layer, and I put the bath bomb in. It just crushed it. It just crushed these sides like that. So I didn't like it, and if I'm doing something, I want to make sure that I'm happy with it on the outside, like on the final project, right? So that's why I decided to do two, and basically one is going to get inserted like that. Whoops, I got that upside down. One is going to get inserted like that, and it's going to become a little box, and that way there's stability on all the sides. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them together, die cut them out at the same time, and then I'm going to rotate this one to that side, and that way the two are together and they have the same, they're on the same circle. There's no overlap. It's not wonky. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to measure our bath bomb. So if my bath bomb was smaller, I would use a smaller die. So when you put that one in, it doesn't sort of sit very well. So I need a larger, even that one. Yeah, even that one is not that great. I need it so that there's enough room so that it sits on the base here. But if it was a smaller bath bomb, here, I think I'll open this one up to share with you what I mean, because this is a smaller bath bomb in here. So this is a smaller one. So this one, if I were to put it in there, it's not resting on the sides there. It's just sort of going to flop around. Whereas see this one, it's resting in that hole. So on this one, I used probably that one. So when I would die cut it out, it's going to sit nicely in there, and it's just going to hang down enough that it's just going to touch the bottom here. But because I'm using a larger bath bomb, I need a larger circle, a scallop circle. And I only used a scallop because I thought it looked prettier like that. So that's the scallop I'm going to use. So let me bring over my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, so I said that this was the side that had the larger of the die cut, not die cut, the larger score line. Oh my God, Elizabeth. That's where this is going to go. It's going to go in there. You may want to bring out some washi tape so that you hold that into place and it doesn't move on you. Oops, I thought I had washi tape. There we go. So the edge that has the bigger score line, that's the edge that is going to get the die cut on it. Like that. And we are going to run this through our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay. take that off. I don't know if you know the trick, but if you want to not tear your paper, and this is garbage now, just run the tearing tape, or not the tearing tape, the washi tape on your pants or your top, just to take some of that stickiness off. And now we're going to take this back again, and I'm going to marry these two up, line those up, and now this is going to go back in and like that, and make sure you have your, you can feel the scallop nest into what you've already die cut out. And now I'm going to run this back through the machine, and that way you've got, whoops, I just shook the camera, apologize, and that way you've got two of the pieces that have been die cut out with the scallop die. Oops, there we go. Okay, because I mucked up that one, it's going to go underneath. All right, and now we're going to build them. And I'm going to put some adhesive on the smaller side. This is the one that's going to go underneath. And you're going to line up those two edges like that. Now see, this is what I mean. If I didn't do a double layer, if you put it in there, it's just going to squash these sides down. See how it squashes the sides down? So now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to wrap it around like that. And then you have your box. But I am going to put a little bit of adhesive on the sides here so that these two match together and that they're not going to separate. And so it'll look like one piece. And then wrap this around. I'm going on this small side here. Oh, you know what? I can put some adhesive on this bottom piece as well. And now I'm going to put some glue on here. And I'm going to fold this over like that. And now I have like a box. And now it's going to sit. The bath bomb will sit without crushing like that. I hope that makes sense to you guys. And I am going to, there will definitely be the sides that have the folds, I would put those to the side. This to me would be the front. So this, which way is this? I'm going to make this the front of the card. And now I'm going to put adhesive on the bottom of the box. Another reason why I like to do the YouTube videos and post them, not just because not all my customers are on Facebook, but because years from now, I've started creating playlists. So I'm going to have I'll have playlists for all of the videos, and I'll put this one under 2 playlists for the On the Horizon bundle, but I also put on the playlist for 3D items. And craft fairs are back, and my first one is May. I forget what the date it is, early May. And who knows, there might be some of these made, but I'll use, for the craft fair, I'll use definitely smaller bath bombs, not expensive bath bombs. But the reason why I do craft fairs is not to sell things, it's to just put the word out there that I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And, you know, I'll have catalogs, etc. So if you're in the area and you're at near the Brampton Fairgrounds in May 11th or May 12th, whatever that Saturday is, I'll be there. And so this will sit really pretty in there like that. See, I love the white against the Blackberry Bliss. And see, this is sitting perfectly. And now I'm going to decorate the inside. Oh, let me decorate. Yeah, I'll decorate the inside first. So the inside I have, that's going to go on the outside. I'm talking to myself. That's for the outside. And for the inside, I've got a whole bunch of different things that I have die cut out using the On the Horizon. And I decided to use just the circles. And like for this one, I might just put the trees. And this one, oh, this one I might put like the house. And no, you know what? I'm going to put the trees up here because they're green. And the mountain I'm going to put on this side. And I am going to trim them down. I'm going to put the mountain there. And I'm going to put the house there, and they'll get trimmed down. And then this is where you can write your sentiment. And I'm going to bring out my Night of Navy. I know I should use the Blackberry Bliss, but my Blackberry Bliss is not in good shape. I went to use it the other day and I went, ooh, that's not very good. And the outside I've already die cut out from the tailor-made tags. I've die cut this one out. So I'm going to use that. And this is going to be for the outside of the box. Well, that's all for the outside of the box. And I need a stamp set. So I think I'm going to use the birds. Let me get out the birds. And I'm just going to stamp the birds on each of them, I think. No, this one I'm going to stamp the birds like that. And I am going to stamp the bird on this one, which is going to be on the outside of the box. I'll tell you the measurements of the circles for the outside of the box once I get to it. But since I've got the blue out, birds, and you know, I think here I'm going to get out my pair of pizzazz, and I'm going to get out the tree stamp. I'm winging it. This I have not planned any of this, so if it works out, that's great. If it doesn't, oh well. And I'm going to stamp the tree there like that. And this I'm going to put like that. And the birds, I'm going to put the blue here like that. I'll just leave the mountain. Well, you know, I might put the birds on the mountain as well. No, the blues on the mountain like that. And on this one, I am going to put maybe relax and enjoy your day. And I'm going to put that in the blue. I think it'll fit perfectly in there. Ooh, it's going to be close. I'm going to do relax and enjoy your day. And I'm going to stamp that like that. Okay, as I had mentioned before, I'm going to close up all this ink. I am going to put these all on the card flush. Original card I had done, or the original project I had done last year, I popped everything up. And things just curved a little bit. So I think I'm going to do them flush. Now I think you'd be safe if you wanted to do a double layer of this and like a scalloped and put it on there, and you know, and I might do that. So this scallop is going to be for the outside, but just for the one, I'm going to do the scalloped and put that on the inside. That's where the sentiment will go. Okay, so I'm going to put there like that. And if I was smart, I would have put the adhesive sheet when I die cut this out, but you know, I did not do that. And so I'm just going to do dot, 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 dot of adhesive. And this is sort of like a mountain. And I will be cutting this down because obviously it's not going to fit in the circle. And this is just blue on blue. You can see the adhesive, it will dry clear. Woo, I almost ripped that. Okay, and I am going to trim this down like that. Okay, and then it's going to go beyond the circle, but that's okay, and that's intentional. So it's going to go beyond the circle. And just a little bit of adhesive. Okay, for this one up here, I'm going to put that circle down that I had the tree stamped. And again, I'm going to put this on there like that, and I am going to trim it off the edge, kind of finish it off with a nice little curve. I told you, I'm winging this. I had an idea in my head, but I hadn't actually done the project, so it's sort of a work in progress. And then on this side, I'm going to put the birds again. Like that. And then I'm going to put the houses like that. And again, I need to trim off a little bit because it's going to be extend past the panel. And like that. Whoops. All right, so there we've got it done, and it sits so much nicer, so much nicer. And okay, hold while I just go and die cut out another Blackberry Bliss. And then this will go on like that. It's just very little scalloped. And I've done the same for the top. It's a very small scallop. You just see it peeking out. I didn't want the big scalloped edge. Okay, and now, there we go. And if you wanted to, you could do, like, instead of putting the trees, you could have put breathe underneath it. Yeah, breathe would have been really nice up here. Okay, so now we've got the box. Whoops, it fell out. We've got the box all created like that. I'm going to put the lid on. There we go. And there is the lid on the box. And now we are going to build the outside. So there's a card coming up in a video, and I'm going to kind of recreate the card, but for the box. So you'll know what I mean when you see the video. But I can't remember where the card is. But I'm going to wing it. So I'm going to take the grass from the stamp set, and I'm going to use, again, Pear Pizzazz. And I've used Pear Pizzazz only because it's it's kind of brighter, and I kind of think it goes well with this paper. And I'm going to put the Pear Pizzazz like that. And I have already die cut out, whoops, got a rock there. I've already die cut out a piece of grass, and I am going to adhere it to the base like that. It's going to go over. That is okay, but you know what I'm going to do now? Sorry. I'm going to adhere this to the card, to the front of the Blackberry Bliss. And that way I can go over and not have to worry about ripping it or tearing it or dirtying it up. Okay. Like that. And then this is going to get over like that. I'm going to pop this up, and I'm going to do it now. Like this. I'm going to put in a few dimensionals like that. I'm not sure what else I can think of to use this for, like other than a bath bomb. If there's anything else that you can think that's round that you can use this pattern for. Okay, and now I'm going to lay this on, and I'm going to put adhesive just on the parts that are going to touch the card, the base of the project. So the outer edges are going to sort of hang free. And to me, it's all about that added detail and dimension, like that. And now, where's my, and I've already die cut out the fence. I don't know my left from the right. It's the right fence that I had to die cut out. And the reason, it's a little bit smaller than the left side. And because I've got all of the grass here, I wanted the fence to kind of welcome you into that path. So I am going to put some dimensionals down the strip. Cut down some strips, and I'm just going to put one on the outside and then one on the either side and then one in the middle. Sometimes my brain and my mouth don't match up. I don't know if anyone else is like that, but in my head it makes sense, and then I say it and it's like, no, that's not what you meant. Okay, and I'm going to put one in the middle. And then one on the outside. And another little strip. And I can see that I need a little, oh, there it is, a little bit of glue on that edge there, on that piece of grass right there. A little bit of glue. Come on. There we go. Okay, and now I've got dimensionals on the 3 vertical pieces, both outside and the middle. And I'm just going to lay that down like that, kind of like a garden path. And now I've got some of the rocks, and I only have one style of rock left, so they're all going to be the same rocks. And I'm just going to create a little pebble, little cluster of pebbles here. And like 1, whoops, 2, and 1 more. 1, 2, 3, like that. Some pebbles. And you need your linen thread. And you know, I'm going to make one of my famous billy bows. I've just cut off about 14 inches. That's probably too much. And now I'm going to bring out 2 fingers. I'm going to go 1, 2, bring in my 3rd finger, 1, 2, and now I'm going to trim it. Pick up from the top, and now I've got to get all my, there we go. And now I've got 2 loops, and I've got 3 loops and 2 loops. It's okay. The more loops, the fluffier it is. And now I'm going to grab the 2 top pieces, push them in towards my thumb, and I'm going to tie this around. Really good if you had 4 hands, but you can also use your lip to hold it. And now I'm just going to tie that knot really tight. And now I've got this bow, a fluffy bow. So it's got 4 strings here at the hang of the bottom. And I'm going to fluff that bow up like that. Works every time. And you can pull the pieces left and right. And I'm going to put the bow right here on the corner of the gate. I usually put in a couple of glue dots, or you can use the Tombow glue. I also use Tombow glue, like that. And okay, so I wasn't happy with any of the tags that I had made. So I really wanted to bring in the Breathe. And so I've decided from the Tasteful Label dies, I'm just die cut one out, and I'm just going to put it up on the top like that with the Breathe on there. And I'm going to put a little dimensional on the top, and then a little bit of Tombow glue to secure it on the base. And what do you think? I tried many different variations of the little tag, but none of them I liked. So I'm just going to stick that in there like that. And then we've got the Breathe. I thought of bringing in sort of a pin and pinning it on, but yeah, that's what I ended up doing. Now I'm just going to trim those off. Now I'm done. I'm going to see how much editing this needs because it's like 54 minutes long. But I hope you are inspired by that box, and it's a little bit different. And when you open it up, you've got your bath bomb on the inside. I hope that project inspired you and that you will too create your own bath bomb box. Thanks for tuning in today. Take care. Happy stamping. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.